All right, welcome Santa Clarita. You're at the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John. I'm John, and we have a special guest today, Chris, because Doug's not here.
This is getting old.
It is getting old. We're going to change the name of the show again.
I think so.
I think
how many
it should
times do I
be-
have to guess before I actually get credit?
You need an agent.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
We could talk
I
about
would
this.
have no idea who to
But
talk to about that.
it's really kind of surprising because with Doug not here, there's so much that went on this week.
Oh.
I mean, it's from a national news standpoint, Doug's head must be exploding. We may have to get him on the show later just because there's so much going on.
I think that's a good idea.
We may have to do
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
but you're knowledgeable. I mean, the thing in Tennessee, the happenings in Tennessee is just
Like
huge.
Chattanooga, Nashville, where Nashville is, and Memphis, and great music cities. Is that what you're talking about? Oh,
Well,
God, yeah, Nashville. I have an office in Nashville. One of our main offices for our company. I'm assuming that's...
Do you?
I love going there. All about the country music and the country scene there and the songwriting scene there. It's fantastic.
Not really Nashville though. We're not talking Nashville.
Well, you said Tennessee.
And not Nashville, not Memphis either. But
Okay.
okay, so all right, so okay, there goes that idea. What about the whole Iran thing? You know, the treaty and how people are comparing it to the Iran-Contra affair. The 1985 thing.
1985.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was a great year for music. Some of my favorite bands started in 1985. Foreigner.
Really?
Big hits. Foreigner.
Big
had
hits,
some
yeah,
hits.
yeah.
And-
You're a
and
Rich Girl, I
Huey
think.
Lewis. Oh yeah, Huey Lewis.
Yeah, I'm
Find a new drug.
I'm gonna go see them next week. It should be
they're
fun.
Fantastic. They're fantastic. You'll love it. And then
But-
one of my favorites, I worked with her from day one, was Whitney Houston. We had her as a client for a long time. I was involved with her from day one of her career. Before her first single
Before
I was there.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you book the Super Bowl?
We were involved with
Involved
that.
in that?
Yeah,
That's-
but I'm talking about booking her in the Roxy and little
Oh my gosh, little clubs even
and-
before that.
Yeah, I was
But
involved.
wait, okay, no, that's not what we were talking about. That's not the whole Iran.
you mentioned
Contra.
85.
Yeah, okay, all right. Let's try another one. You have to be paying attention to the whole presidential thing. The presidential
who's not?
election
Who's not?
and Clinton. And
George Clinton, Parliament Funkadelic, one of my favorite groups.
That's not where we're going with
Oh
this either.
my God! And also, it had some big hits. And Chelsea is a
Chelsea?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think Chelsea had a dad that played an instrument too.
Yeah, Bill Clinton. Well, it's his wife. Remember we talked about
Okay.
Hillary Clinton and yeah, I guess his dad, her husband, Chelsea's dad, did play
a saxophone.
Oh,
was he
on
good?
Arsenio Hall.
Really?
I remember that. I remember that.
Really great musician.
Probably helped
Great
him win
musician.
the election.
Yep.
But you have no concept of you're talking Memphis, for goodness sakes. We're not talking Memphis.
I'm talking Memphis. I'm talking Birth of the Blues, baby. I'm talking music. Isn't that what you're talking about?
I think that's what you want to talk about.
I think
Could
so.
be wrong.
I think
Well,
that's
we
a
can
good
talk
idea.
about talk about music.
Okay.
I mean, we've got all kinds of time to talk about music. I mean, there's. I mean,
That was not easy.
I know, but there's a
Okay.
lot of things going on. Do you pay attention to anything other than music?
I spend so much time just trying to keep up with what my acts are doing. I can't be bothered with the rest of the world.
That's kind of
Sad.
Probably
sad,
keeps-
isn't it?
Probably is a very happy place a lot of times. I mean, there's a lot of things going on.
Not
I mean,
always.
Yeah, but sometimes ignorance is bliss, which was actually, believe it or not, the name of my band in high school.
Ignorance
Ignorance is bliss.
Oh, that's perfect. How did I know that was true?
It
That's
was awesome.
perfect.
It was a great band.
I love it.
We had absolutely no musical talent. You would not have
I
signed
love
us
it.
to. You wouldn't have signed us to pick up your UPS package.
I got acts that don't have any musical talent, so that's okay. I could have represented you.
Oh, I was going to ask like who, but
I'm not going to go
I
there.
didn't-
I like my job.
That's a scary thought. If you think about it, there's so much going on, and we do have a tendency to get singular focused on our job, which is great. But there is
You know what I need to do? I need to read Doug's rant more often.
either that or you need to listen to the Gazette Radio Hour
Or
with
that.
Doug and John,
Or that.
or host it more and just kick Doug out. And,
Yeah, but then we don't learn anything when I'm hosting it, though. That's the problem.
We learn a lot about music, which isn't a bad thing. See, it all ties back together.
You know what? Speaking of music, we got some great music stuff coming up that we'll talk about now or later, whenever you want to.
Let's talk about it later.
Okay.
We got all kinds of time. We've
Okay.
got more time than we need to do. Oh, but going back to what we were talking about, do you think, and this is completely off script, so you're going to have to think out loud for a minute or two. Do you think that Americans in general are too singularly focused, or do they get to pay attention? Are they members of the global community when it comes to their news knowledge?
You know what?
Because you deal with a different group of people than what I deal with.
I do. And you know, it's interesting when my company, WME, has a retreat. okay? We don't talk about music. We don't talk about actors. We don't talk about books. We don't talk about producers.
Really?
We actually, on the serious side, we had President Clinton at our retreat last year. We had the ex-head of security for the nation.
Wow.
We've had some just amazing speakers. And it really is about keeping us up to date as employees of a big company and what's going on and how things are being handled. And believe it or not, it does affect how we book, what we book, and in terms of what we do on a day in and day out basis. So we're kidding around a second ago, but it's actually very true.
Yeah,
and it does keep us, because we are, as a company, we get so singularly focused on what we do day in and day out. My mom will call and say, "Do you hear about the shooting?" And I'm going, "What shooting?"
Yeah.
And that's only not that I don't care.
They're filming in Newhall? What are you talking about? Yeah, exactly.
Right, exactly.
Exactly.
So, we tend to get carried away in not such a great direction all the time.
That's an interesting point. I don't know whether all companies are like that. And I know there's a lot of individuals who, what did they call it last election? The low information voters.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
right.
You're a member of, regardless of your political beliefs, you come into the community. You come into there's certain obligations as a citizen, I believe, and I think you got to pay attention.
I absolutely agree. And that's
all right. Well, hopefully people will pay attention. Enough politics, maybe.
Okay, good. Thank you.
We'll
Because I'm tapped.
You were about to.
That
was all we had for you. All right, we'll talk music when we come back.
Okay,
I promise. All right, you listen to Gazette Radio with Doug and John on AM-1220 KHTS. Special guest Chris is sitting in for Doug, and we'll be right back. You listen to Gazette Radio with Doug and John. Special guest Chris Burke sitting in for Doug. On a pretty good day so far. We've decided that we're not going to talk politics, at least not yet. But I reserve the right to change that. Is it fair?
You always do.
Because there's a lot of stuff, and it's, my name's in the show.
Your name is the show.
My name is the show. Yours is, you're just, and special guest.
I can screw up. What's the worst that's going to happen?
I know, yeah. Doug would get fired. Wait, that's cool.
Oh,
wait a minute.
Oh,
a coup. All right, so... okay, insider music-wise, this is a cool question. I was thinking about this when we were talking off the air. You have been doing this for quite some time. What, 30 years?
35 years come October.
So you started when you were 11.
Yep.
That was nice. Do I get paid for that? Playing the accordion on the street with a blind monkey.
That's right.
But there's stuff from an outsider standpoint that we don't get to see. So it's always...
You're probably better off that way.
But it's always fascinating to me.
It's the man behind the curtain,
yeah,
right?
It's always fascinating to me to take a little peek behind the curtain. Do I want to live there? No, because I like the show. Magicians, not musicians, magicians.
Yeah.
I love the guys. Remember they used to have that thing, the guy would show you the trick?
Yeah, the
unmask or the mask.
Yeah.
I thought that was fascinating because they made it look real. That was so much better than anything else.
Well, I'll tell you, I learn more every day as the more I do this, and I continue to learn things. We've talked about it in the past, but we recently, and I actually had the job to produce Kenny Loggins for Golden Valley High School, and while doing that, I learned what goes on. I'm not there at 8 a.m. when the crew shows up.
That's
when
right.
The bus backs up to the loading dock. I show up after a nice meal. And I say hi to my artist, and I watch the show, and I say goodbye.
Yeah.
But to be there before the artist got there, before the crew got there, I handled the meals. I handled everything that went on that day.
Oh, my gosh.
Not myself personally, but
yeah,
I oversaw,
you oversaw
everything
it.
that happened. And some things I did. I did go to Panera. I did buy the food. I did everything because it was a fundraiser for my child's school.
Right.
So to be there from that minute and watch them measure the stage, where are they going to set up, how are they going to set up, to 8 hours early, and they do need an 8-hour load-in to sound check, to everything that goes into it. It's quite something else, and I learned a lot that day.
Well, what about the artists themselves? Is there anything, and I'm not going to put you on the spot.
Up.
Yeah, attitude-wise. They show up, from an outsider standpoint, they come on stage, they maybe have something, the green M&Ms, not the brown ones, backstage. They go out, they sing, they go back, they have a party with a bunch of girls, and they leave. That's what we see.
That's not the truth.
Okay.
That's
I
not
was say lift the curtain for us.
I haven't been invited to any of the parties. Put it that way.
Okay. Well,
okay.
Yeah. No offense, Chris, but I get to see you. People on the radio don't.
Yeah. Okay. Great.
Enough said.
Thank you very much. But no, it's different artists react differently, and some artists are just so down to earth. And I find that I'm very blessed, and the artists that I work with seem to be most of those types of artists.
That's the cool part.
I've mentioned Kenny Loggins to death, so everybody knows that he's my favorite, and a friend, and just, I mean, the benefit that he did for us was beyond words. But Michael McDonald, and I mean, you just want to hang with him. He would let you.
That's cool. Okay. So there are people that you want to have beers with.
Yes, exactly. And as an agent, I've learned you never want to get too close to an artist because don't think they're too much of your friend. You just got to watch. You still got to watch your position. But Michael is truly one of the great ones. Yeah. I recently had a show with Michael, and he told me the story himself. And it was a small show. He got paid a lot of money for it. It was a birthday party in New York City at the Plaza Hotel. And when Michael plays, he plays with his eyes shut a lot.
Does he really?
And he just kind of feels the vibe. And he was doing one song where he's leading into I think Taking It to the Streets, or one of his hits. Yeah. And with his eyes shut. So unbeknownst to him, he did not see the audience member come up on stage, come up behind him on the keyboard, put his hands on Michael's hands, and whisper into the mic, "Could you pick it up a little, please?"
Are you serious?
Now, I got to tell you, I represent a lot of great artists. I don't know one of them that wouldn't have gotten up, reached for the paycheck, and walked out.
Yeah, at that point in time,
Michael says, "Okay," and continues on right to Taking It to the Streets, and picked it up and did everything they wanted. And that's just because he gets it. He gets it. It's not brain surgery. It's really simple, and he enjoys it, and he does it for the love of it, and he got paid real well. So different artists react differently.
I guess it's an entertainment thing. If they're there for, because to me, they seem to be grouped into two different sides: people who love the music, regardless of whether you like it or not, and the entertainers, the people who are, I'll do whatever it takes to make you feel good about what's going on.
Sure.
And I guess the coolest people are the people that kind of meld the two together.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
And that's hard to find.
It really is hard to find. I've recently worked a lot with Tom Petty. And I don't know Tom Petty personally. I do now, but I didn't at the time. And after the show, he invited me on his private jet to fly home with him the following day. Now, I wasn't expecting that. I grew up a huge Tom Petty fan.
Yeah.
So,
oh, my gosh.
All of a sudden, to have Tom Petty invite me on the plane, it was like, well, let me think about it. Yes.
Does he know that we use his song as our bumper music?
Yeah, he does, and he still invites me on the plane.
Okay.
So, which is
he ever going to show up and do that live? I got nothing.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, we can hold our breath until the cows come home.
We can tell people he's here live. Nobody's going to know, right?
And we'll put a curtain up.
There you go. There you go. So I'm always surprised by the acts.
Yeah.
I'm always pleasantly surprised.
But how much of that, and this is an interesting point, maybe we only have a couple of seconds left in the segment anyway, but how much of that is you being the fan versus you being the manager? Is there a distinction between the two?
And why they're being nice to me?
Well, yeah. I mean, is it just, wow, I'm a fan?
Look, I'm responsible for their livelihood. So I know that,
and they know that.
And they know that.
Yeah.
So they may act a little differently because of that. But I think after it happens enough, I mean, listen, for Tom Petty, he doesn't have to. He doesn't need me for his livelihood at this point in his career. Yeah. So, he was very genuine in what he was doing. Yeah. So it's always fun.
This is cool. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. Like I said, I love looking under the. I mean, I was going to say under the skirt, behind the curtain. Wow, where was I going with that one?
Oh, I'm not even going to go.
All right,
I was going to go.
Let's get out quick. All right, you listen to the Gazette Radio Hour with Doug and John. Special guest Chris Burke sitting in for Doug on AM-1220 KHTS, Santa Cruz hometown station. We will be back.